Good evening, tavernites, tavern dwellers. I don't know what we call each other yet. Anyway, tis I, your humble host, Tyler Randall, and no pomp and circumstance tonight. Just coming out on the back patio to smoke me a Rocky Patel Old World Reserve Nicaraguan. This is delicious. This is the good stuff. And just coming at you to let you know I'm coming back from being banned. Not once, not twice, but thrice, three times. Also, we're having some new riff barrel strength. It's like 104 proof. Delicious stuff. I'd show you the bottle, but that's what the phone is leaning up against. It's got a it's got a really cool Rick roll on the front of it. I'll show it to you in the end. But let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about what has gone on since I have been out of the loop. What's up, Tim? How's it going, man? How are you doing? Can you hear me all right? If you can hear me, let me know. If you're having trouble hearing me, let me know. No matter what. So I just wanted to go live real quick and let's go over some of the crazy stuff that has happened, right? And it's not just bad things either. Let's talk about some good things that are going to happen, right? Awesome. Thanks you guys. We got Barnhill and Tyler letting us know that they can hear us. How you doing? So everybody, unless you've been living under a rock, we've had the Trump raid, right, on Mar-a-Lago, which he's clearly going to sue for Fourth Amendment issues and things like that. It's clearly a fishing expedition. Everybody kind of knows that. All we really need to focus on right now is that means that we're winning as a country. Now, not just because I'm a Trump supporter or that I love Trump more than anybody else, but I think that he's the best thing that for our current system of government and how it doesn't work and how it's not supposed to work. I mean, we have exactly what the Federalists told us was going to happen. You know, if Benjamin Franklin said, and I know that quote's attributed to him, and I'm going to say that he said it, but he said that if ever the Congress could learn to vote themselves money, it's over. The republic is gone, and we're there. Back in the day, we had what in the 70s, it was maybe like 1,400 people that were staff for the entire Congress. Now that number has ballooned over 4,000 people working on staff for the Senate and for the House of Representatives. And those people never leave. Those people are there for life. And you don't think that there's a shadow state or it's a lot easier to say administrative state because you say shadow government, you start saying things like that, and they call you a conspiracy theorist like you're Alex Jones. And I tend to get kicked off of the damn internet for saying this. Now, that in itself is its own problem, and it does no good to just cry about it. But it is a little bit indicative of a little old me, a nobody. I'm a nobody. I live in Middle Tennessee, and I speak my mind. I speak as much truth as I can recognize that is there. I say the truth, but then it just they censor it. They kick it off. They said, "Oh, that's bullying. You can't bully somebody for calling. You can't call somebody an idiot. You can't call somebody. You can't say that's dumb. You can't say, hey, dude,' and then all of a sudden it's a trans person. And fuck, well, goddamn it, there goes 30 days of your life on social media, which honestly is not a bad thing. I had a great time not on social media. It was quite cleansing, you should say. But good things. As of right now, there is this was supposed to be the initial way to change the Constitution. It was called the Convention of States, if you've ever heard of it. The Convention of States is basically you need to get 34 state legislatures together, right? And once those legislatures get together, they can only under the convention they can only go forward with what the documents I can't remember the terminology for it, but the document that you write that brings the convention from Article 5 into being, you can only talk about, vote on, and debate what is on there. And as of right now, we have, I believe, 32 of the 34 states needed to start a convention. Once the convention started, they might not ratify anything and put any changes forward because then it takes 38 states to ratify it. That is not out of hand. And people say, "Oh, it'll never happen." Actually, if you think about how many red states are, how many state legislatures are red in this country? I mean, it's got, I don't know off the top of my head. Like I said, I'm sitting in my backyard, I'm spitballing, but there's quite a bit. And for the state legislatures to get together, and the document specifically says to limit the power of the federal government. In other words, it'll curtail FBI overreach. It's going to curtail all this administrative state stuff. Like, why is the EPA get to make decisions um, on what a farmer does in Iowa? And 90% of the time, they make the wrong decision. They're like, let's plug up that mine in Colorado because a little bit of a toxic substance leaks out of it and always has. And then they plug it up, and then it causes a giant ecological disaster when it starts streaming through the rivers and kills millions of fish and wildlife and deer and beavers and birds. This is the government that is supposedly our leaders. What they've forgotten is that they are our servants. They're supposed to be our servants, and increasingly we are getting these people that they come right out of college, they come right out of the Ivy League, and they go directly into government. And they're a staffer, they're an organizer, and then they're on somebody's staff, and then they end up running. They either stay on a staff or they end up running themselves. And what you need to do is, I know it sounds dumb, but you need to hold your local elected officials accountable. Your state legislatures, your county commissioners, your whatever kind of, I mean, every state is different, but you're going to have those people live with us, right? They go to our churches, they go to the supermarket, we see them at concerts, right? Our kids play together. I don't have kids, but I say this, I'm not talking about like us. Our kids play together. So these are the people you need to be leaning on and saying, guess what? If you are not going to be for the Convention of States, you're out of here. If you're not going to be for America First, you're out of here. America First is way before Trump. The base that is supporting him is basically just the Tea Party. Hey, how's it going? I got a bird above me saying hello to us. Hello, bird. And so what we need to do is we need tell your local officials what you want of them, because everybody thinks, no, it's rigged. It's not, and it's not hard to organize yourselves. I got 8, 9, 10 people watching me just right now. People that know me, people that like to hear my point of view. Sometimes I know I can ramble, but at least enough to say, oh, I never thought of something like that. If we all did this, if we all just went live every once in a while, listened to each other, started talking about, who should be on our county commission? What are they trying to get accomplished? Like in my county specifically, I'll just give you a little tidbit. They're the county commissioners who are being paid by the land developers, and this is all public record. They are trying to start a county fire department. Sounds great, doesn't it? It's not. We have a city fire department, and for the rural areas, we have several volunteer fire departments, and they've been working just fine. What this will do is effectively destroy all of our volunteer fire departments, put them out of business, and it'll take money away from our city fire department. And then where's that money going to come from? It's going to come from raising taxes on people who live in the rural areas. And guess what they're going to not be able to do? Pay their freaking taxes. And if they can't pay their taxes, then guess what's going to happen? Oh, they're just going to have to get, evicted off of their property. And then what's going to happen? Oh, they're going to develop the land. So it's really transparent. It's very easy to see. I'm not a super smart guy, and even I could figure it out. So what we need to do is do everything we can. And I'm saying everything as in within legal means, because I know there's a lot of people out there like, and I know I jest a lot online about tar and feathering and things like that. But we're coming to a time of the fourth turning in this generation where there's either going to be war or revolution. Okay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a war of bullets. It can be a war of words. It can be a war of politics. Well, we just need to. I had a very great conversation with a neighbor of mine who gave me this beautiful bottle of whiskey that I've been sipping on. Very good stuff. He's a lifelong Democrat. He worked for Al Gore. He worked for Clinton. He's met, he hung out with them and stuff, knows them very well. We agreed on like 85% of the stuff that we were talking about. We stayed up late one night. He had an awesome, party at his house. We were smoking stogies out in the back porch. And we were just like, he's tried to run, and they're even trying to keep him out. And he's a big, giant Democrat donor, has been in the Democrat Party his whole life, knows them intimately, and they're saying, nah, you're too moderate or right leaning. You're not in the right club, basically. So there is levels to this. And even though me and him agree 80, 90, 85, 90% on what we're talking about, even he is too moderate, because he agrees with individual liberty. He agrees with responsibility. He agrees with um, making personal property. That's another thing that's going away real quick. You own nothing and you'll be happy. Am I right, World Economic Forum? Klaus right now is listening to this and going, ban that motherfucker again. Oh, we need to put the world together in such a way that we will control everything and you will have nothing and you will be our serfs. Slavery never really went away. It's just changed forms. Now we have economic slavery coming down the pipe. It's collectivism, you guys. Collectivism just means that the people at the top get everything and the people at the bottom get nothing. The best outcomes in this world are when we let individual people do their thing and the invisible hand of the market takes care of the rest. Does regulation need to occur? Yes, obviously. But who regulates the regulators? And that's the question. And it looks like we haven't figured that part quite out yet. So, back to Convention of States, it could happen. You need to be hounding your state legislatures to, if you live in Utah, if you live in, I know most of y'all live in Texas, Tennessee, and things, Georgia, Pennsylvania, place like that. But if you need to be hounding your state legislatures, I want Convention of States. When they go to run in their primaries or when they're running against the Democrats, don't ask them fucking gotcha questions on the Democrats. If you're a Democrat and you're going, don't ask them gotcha questions on the Republicans saying, where's my Convention of States? Why are you not forwarding this agenda? Why are you not trying to limit the federal government? Okay. Those are the things that we really need to get accomplished. Okay. And I do it for my end. You guys need to do it on your end. I think personally, let's move on to another topic here. So, Joe Biden, right, is apparently dementia riddled, right? He can't put together a sentence. He can't remember if he shook your hand 5 seconds ago. Are they really? I mean, he truly is, in the literal and figurative sense, an empty suit. He literally is an empty suit. He'll say yes to anything the party tells him to because he literally can't. It's almost abuse at this point. Would it be better if Kamala Harris was president? Yes or no? Probably not, but not for the reason you think. Because the Democrats don't want her to be president. They absolutely would abhor it because she's the type of power-hungry person that would let it go to her head, and it would just be like the days after Stalin's death, where everybody's backstabbing and conniving and trying to work their way up the ladder. Right? It is absolutely insane. I think they say he's going to run in 2024, but the truth is, Larry Elder said if she doesn't run, then they'll lose. The Democrats will lose a black vote, but I disagree with them. I don't think that the African Americans are going to want to vote for her. Period. I mean, all any of one of her opponents has to say is, "Hey, didn't you lock up a bunch of people as a DA in California for marijuana?" That's all you'd have to do is slam dunk, boom, she's shut down. So who's on the list? What, Buttigieg, the transportation secretary that doesn't know what a grid is, doesn't know how that making everybody get electric cars is going to destroy your grid. It costs 17 times your air conditioning bill to charge your electric car every year. You can't afford it, but we'll save on gas. Even though gas is high right now, compared to having an electric car, is cheap as shit. It's super fucking cheap to have a gasoline vehicle versus an electric vehicle. Not just that, but good luck in 3 years when the battery dies. It's in the center of the car. They have to take the whole car apart to fucking put a new battery in there. Where's that battery coming from? At that point, you might as well get a new car. 3 to 6 years or something like that. Also, these tax credits that you're going to get for your electric car. If you read the tax credit, guess what it says? The majority of the materials for the battery have to be made in the United States. Guess where they're not made? The United States. Made in China. Duh. So immediately 70% of the vehicles, I think it's the exact number is like 73% of the vehicles on the road right now in America do not qualify for the tax credit. And then going forward, the restrictions get tighter and tighter and tighter, and to the point that 0 cars in the United States would even qualify for that tax credit to have a car. Right? This is why we need to listen to people outside of the news sphere, not Fox News, not CNN, not MSNBC. You need to be listening to like Jack Pacific on Human Events Daily. He doesn't have a ton of subscribers, but he has almost never been wrong on anything he says. I'm not saying you got to go listen to Steve Bannon. I'm not saying you got to go listen to Alex Jones. I'm saying you need to listen to like guys like Tim Pool, guys like Jack Pacific, guys like off the top of my head, like maybe Elijah Schaffer. I don't know if you like the Blaze. You don't have to like Glenn Beck, but I do. I personally do. Because if you listen to them and you try to steel man their argument, try to make their argument as strong as possible so that you can refute it, it's kind of hard. This great reset thing is happening whether you like it or not. And I'm not saying it's a scare tactic. It just is. It just is. So I'm on for 15 minutes or so now. I don't have a lot more to say. I just wanted to get on here really quick and reintroduce myself. Say I'm back. Hit it real hard with the giant issues that have been happening lately, and hopefully do more casual stuff like this. You know, going through the newspaper, reading the stories of the day that you probably don't get to read because you don't subscribe to a real newspaper like the Epic Times, or that maybe you didn't see on YouTube because you have a regular job and you don't have time to fuck with all this stuff. I got time. Okay, I'm about to have two jobs, but I got time, and I want to present it to you in an easy to digest way, and then it basically in a man on the street way. I'm a blue collar guy. You're Most of y'all blue collar people. And this is what we need. We need to talk to each other. Even if you just listen to this in the car on your way to work and you're like, you made some good points. Or you're like, I've never heard of that. Let me go look that up. That's what we need to do for each other. So share this with your friends. And thank you. If you don't like anything I just said, thank you for listening this long. If you did like what I said, like it, subscribe it, share it with your friends, and hit me up. If you want to be on the show, let me know, and we can either have a debate or we can talk about stuff we agree on, or we can just talk about regular life. We just talk about what's going on in your neck of the woods because I can't be everywhere, and I would love to hear from some of y'all and some of the places that you live and what's going on there locally. Because, like I said, we got to get with our local officials and we need to make shit happen on our end. We need to start fortifying our own states and counties and communities because the Fed is coming down. They're coming. They're like the orcs. They're coming to the gates, bro. And we need to call Rohan for aid. You know what I mean? For y'all nerds out there that got that, I love it. If you didn't, it's Lord of the Rings. Go ahead and watch it. It's a fucking awesome movie. Um, Once again, I've been Tyler Randall, your host of Tavern Talk Tavernites. Have a good night. Drink whiskey, smoke cigars, live your life. Love you. Bye. Did I hit record?